My day working hard on the go, put my hand on the clock, keep spinning too slow. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone here for another episode of UnSKripted. Listen, it's Tuesday night. You know what that means. I have some of the biggest, the baddest, the best wrestlers of today and yesteryear. And tonight's no different. You know why? Because I have a WWE Hall of Famer on here, a six-time WWE Tag Team Champion, man, you name it, two-time NWA World Tag Team Champion. He even won belts in Tennessee. You know, yeah, it happens like that. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the R to the O to the double G. Road Dogg, Brian James. How are you tonight, my man?
I'm doing great, man. I don't know what you butchered more, my entrance or that song at the top of the show.
Probably both.
No, I love it, man. I love it. And I didn't know you could play the guitar, Doc.
I can't. So
oh, really?
I took lessons for probably about 2 months, man, and I actually bought
I would love to be able to play the piano.
Yeah,
I always thought about.
I would like to play the piano too.
Yeah, from a musician standpoint, with the like a Ray Charles or a Jerry Lee Lewis, people that really could play. You know,
Sure.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I bought this guitar about 10 years ago, man, and it's just sitting here in my office.
You know what you need? You either need to learn to play it, or you need to hit somebody over the head with it.
You know what? I've thought about both, actually. You know,
as long as I'm not the one.
Wow.
As long as I'm not the one, yeah, because if it's still put together like that one is, it will hurt really bad.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But the unrigged honky tonk man hitting Jake Roberts' guitar.
Oh, yeah. It's just like getting hit with a big boat paddle.
Right, exactly. Oh. Well, before we dive into these questions, man, you got a new project. You got a new big endeavor coming up. Actually, that's already here. In the form of a podcast. Let the listeners know if they already don't.
Yeah, so look, I just started the podcast. I believe I'm actually 2 months in, eight episodes in as of Thursday of last week. My co-host is a guy that I worked with a great deal in WWE. He was actually on Team Dogg for the last 3 years, which was the team that I kind of headed up with talent character development in NXT, and Ryan was on my team, so I knew exactly how many hats he could wear and what a talented individual he was. So I asked Conrad Thompson, of course, who's saved with Conrad, as you can see behind me, we're saving with Conrad and Blue Chew and all that kind of stuff. But well, I don't know how those two go together. But the fact that I'm doing this podcast, it's new to me. It's something I'm very interested in doing. I'm having a great time. Kind of right now, I'm still at the point where we're just kind of going through big moments of my career and talking about the backstage aspect of it. And I think there's something interesting to hear that perspective of it. So I haven't really started I had my brother on, haven't had a bunch of guests on yet. Don't know how I'll be with a bunch of guests on, but we'll find out. You know what I mean? I'm excited about the new venture. I'd also love to do color commentary on some show. So if anybody out there is hiring, like I'm not retired, I'm unemployed. Let me make that perfectly clear. And I'd love to be working somewhere and doing what I love to do and helping these young guys and helping the television product become better as well.
That's actually pretty cool. You in the role of a color commentator, that's actually pretty cool, man.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. When I first got released, I thought I always wanted to do color commentary, and Vince always said, no, I need you back here helping to set up and construct and execute the show. You know what I mean? And I thought, okay, that makes sense. I'm writing the show. You need me back here to kind of help execute it. But I thought, man, I'd love to try that. I wanted to try the podcast. I'm doing it now. I don't think I'm doing it well, but I will get better. We will hit our stride. But it's just fun, and it's a new challenge. You know what I mean? So I'm up for it.
And you've got 30 years of stories behind your belt, man. You know,
yeah, I do have.
You got plenty of material.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, I got some stories. That's for dang sure. I'm full of crap enough. That's for sure.
Aren't we all, man? Aren't
Yeah.
we all? All right, man. You ready to dive into these questions?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, man. Let's see. Before we get into that, if you guys are looking behind his head, is the name of the podcast. It's You Didn't Know.
This way.
There you go. Perfect. Let's see here.
Are you a real doctor? Because I have this rash in my undercarriage. I'm just kidding.
I am not a medical doctor. I'm a psychology doctor.
Oh, well, I could
PhD.
use your assistance too. I assure you of that.
Yes, indeed. I think all of us in this time. I think there should be therapy for high gas prices alone.
Yeah, amen. It's it's really cool that it's just coming. Say that again.
What state are you at?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. What's the gas prices?
So I live up in the Panhandle, up in the Redneck Riviera, like Northwest Florida, and gas is about $4.50 a gallon right now. So it's not California or New Jersey yet, but $4.50 a gallon ain't cheap either.
I'm in Ohio, and it's it just went up to. It was $4.24 yesterday, and it went up to $4.49 today. So
good Lord! I was just in Ohio. I was just around Girard and Youngstown. Did Ohio Fan Fest up there. I actually had a great time. Me and Billy had a great time. Spent some time with Powerhouse Hobbs. I never met him before. He's a good guy, and of course the Ass Boys were there.
There you go. There you go. All right, Rorito. Greetings from Puerto Rico. You were originally the roadie for Double J. What was that experience like? And are you open to the possibility of tagging with Billy Gunn in AEW?
Yeah. So let's cover the Double J thing quickly. Look, I loved that. It was the best experience of my career, to be quite honest with you. I didn't have the responsibility of working, but I did have the responsibility of being there for the timing of the spots and for the finish of the match and all that. And so it was really cool to be able to sit around and learn under the learning tree of those guys. Like one of the best matches when I was the roadie with Jeff was we had a tag match with Razor and Razor and Kevin Nash against Jeff and Shawn Michaels and me on the outside. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the most well put together tag matches I've ever been a part of. And so it was really cool of me to be able to dip my toe in the water rather than dive in head first. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I love that experience being the roadie. I would love to be the roadie again, to tell you the truth. And to the second portion of that question, I would rather be the roadie than tag with Billy Gunn. As you can see, Billy Gunn looks like he can still wrestle. I look like I should be in a wheelchair approaching the cardiac floor. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm going to be wrestling with anybody. Probably my conscience about some past decisions, but that's probably it. I think Billy's in a really good spot right now with his children, and I can't imagine how proud he is and how happy it makes him to be able to work and to do that with them. So I don't know if I want to go back and wrestle. I would love to go back and work behind the scenes. I think I could help with AEW's television product, and I think I could help with like the creative consistency about some things, some unwritten rules that'll just make their television show prettier. And look, maybe that's not what they want, and I understand that too. But I'm here if you need me.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Doug Basham, man. He might be looking for some OVW help, man. So,
yeah, man, I would love that. He's working down there with Al Snow probably too, and that's a good time waiting to happen. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I can shoot him a text if you're interested.
Yeah.
Guillermo's asking, "Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody." I'm here asking the 6-time WWE Tag Team Champion of the world, how did the Voodoo Ken Mafia, went back to TNA, gimmick was born, and what consequences you have with WWE?
Yeah. Well, look, there was no consequences because I worked for TNA at the time. And so when I went back, it was just one awkward conversation about, hey, what was that y'all were doing down there? And that was from Hunter. It never came from Vince. So look, it came about just like we invaded WCW and WWE when Russo was writing there. Russo was writing in TNA, and he wanted us to go and try to pick a fight with those guys. And that's where Voodoo Ken Mafia, the nickname for VKM, came up, and me and my kid came up with that. And we did what we did for a while, and it was fun. And like I said on a panel the other day, looking back, that was some of my best mic work. Like if you go back and watch that, of course I wasn't wrestling a whole bunch. It was more about me and Billy getting an 8-minute promo segment on the show every week to try to pick a fight with the WWE guys. So I got a lot of time, a lot of mic time to just talk. And so rewatching some of that recently on my podcast, it really took me back and go, wow, this is where I honed my promo craft, even after WWE. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty happy about that time when I went back and watched it.
Indeed. Where were you mentally at that time? I know that, DX and your WWE run was so major, and then going into TNA and things like that. I know that you were dealing with some things personally.
Yeah.
How were you mentally at that time cutting those promos?
Yeah. So the thing is like that's what I was kind of scared to go back in time, and I prefaced the segment that we did on this was like I wasn't in a good place personally. I was in a dark place. But when I watched those promos, I was like, okay, well, I was coherent enough to cut a promo out there. You know what I mean? But it was still a dark place in my life, and it was still a full on drug addiction, active drug addiction, and you know what I mean, and just running. And so at this point, it was downhill. It was at post big run and everything, and now I'm just hanging on, and both professionally and personally, So yeah, it was a bad time for me.
Yeah. Yes. God, you would understand that very much. Let's see. Let's see. Aaron is asking, as a former Marine, what are your thoughts on the current direction of Lacey Evans' character? Does he think Naomi and Sasha walking out is a work or a shoot?
So Lacey Evans, look, I love Lacey Evans. I think she's a heck of a woman. I'm thankful for her service. She did great in the Marine Corps. She's actually from Marietta, Georgia, which is the same place I'm from. So we got a lot in common that draws me to her. I haven't followed the product as closely as I should have, so I don't really know what they're doing with her. I've seen her social media stuff where she's kind of telling her kind of life story and that kind of work ethic that she has and that kind of strong national pride, and you know what I mean? Like I dig all of that. I don't really know what direction they're going with her character in yet, so I can't critique nor cut down or prop up. So look, I think she looks great in the new outfit. I think she just had her second baby and she got back in shape quickly. Actually, before I got released, I saw her down at the training, the performance center, training hard to get back in the ring after having that second baby. She would literally put her baby like down for a nap and go in and take hip tosses in the ring. So I mean, that kind of woman, that kind of drive in any human is respectable, you know what I mean? But then you see her, and she's this beautiful woman that has this drive and was a Marine and a military police woman in the Marines too, So she's a bad girl, and I dig her character the most. I just want to see what they're gonna do with it, you know what I mean? Because she's got that a lady's right, man. That's a great looking punch and finish. I always loved it, so I'm a huge fan of hers. What was the second part of that, Doc? There was a second part.
Naomi
of
and
that question.
Sasha walking out.
Oh, yeah. So I went on, I don't know if this is live tonight, Doc, but I went on Busted Open Radio today, and I talked to Bubba and David about this. Look, I think it's a part of the deal. It's a work. That's just me. I'll be happy to come back on and eat crow or revel in the fact that I was right. You know what I mean? So I just think, look, there's nothing going on with those tag titles. Sasha and Naomi are too big of stars to have those tag titles on them and not be doing something. They haven't really done great with those women's tag titles since the inception. But so I really feel like this was something to draw attention to those tag titles, and maybe if on TV the company treats it like it's a big deal, maybe the viewer, the fans will treat it like it's a big deal. So I just feel like they went too in detail, and I'm talking about the WWE now with their statements being made. I think they went too into details they didn't have to go into. That just threw up a red flag for me, a red herring, if you will. And right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm a cynical old man, and everything's a work. And so I think it's a work. Like I said, mark my words. If it's not a work and they quit or whatever, I'll come back on and eat my crow.
If it's not a work, you've been worked, Brian.
Yes, amen. And I dig that too. Like, cool, work me.
Yeah.
If you can work me, that's great.
Yeah.
Vince loved to do that. Vince would always not tell anybody until something happened, and then everybody was like, what? Because it's kind of cool not knowing and seeing something cool happen,
Agreed. Let's see. We got to go. Super Chat's come first. So Rollin with the 99 Super Chat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Generation X proudly brings to you. It's WWE Tag Team Champions of the World.
Oh, this guy didn't ask a question. He just literally said my speech.
Yeah, for $10, man. This guy's awesome.
Age Outlaws. Yeah, I love you, man.
Yeah,
I love you, Roland Curtis. Roland,
yes,
Roland.
he's the man. He's Roland is one of the biggest supporters of
is that right?
On my channel.
Oh, well, good. Yeah,
he's
thank you.
He's the man. He's the man.
He is the man.
He comes through every time. Let's see here. Man, there's a lot of people supporting you, man. Ready to rock and roll here.
Well, I mean, I hope. Look, I just do my best,
Yes, indeed. You are still over, Brian. Of course you are.
Thank you. Yeah, that word gets thrown around a lot. You know what I mean? That word gets thrown around a lot these days. Like, oh, so-and-so's over. It's like, really? Have you seen over? Have you seen
that's a good point. That's a good point. I was watching the Broken Skull sessions with Cody Rhodes, and he was talking about the same thing as far as like that word being overused, and people like Austin was over. People like Rock is over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got a mid-card guy who's kind of rising and to a level, someone like a Darby Allin. Awesome dude, like super popular. But like, is he over right now? You know what I mean? Like, I can see him getting there and getting to the point of being that, but it's a little bit diluted. That word is
100%. And look, Darby's a perfect example because I was with him actually this past weekend at the signing in Ohio, and so we spent a little time there with him. But he's a perfect example. Like, so a wrestling fan of today would go, "Oh, he's over." Right. Well, that's debatable, and it's to what your definition of over means. And when you heard the glass break in Madison Square Garden, when you heard "If You Smell," when you heard "Gong," you know what I mean? That was over. that was over. 5,000 people golf clapping because somebody fell off the top rope onto another person. Like, that's not over. I hate to break it to you guys, and I'm not being negative. I'm just being a realist. You know what I mean? Look back at the guys that were truly over, and then reevaluate what word we're going to use for the guys that are popular right now. That's how I feel.
And I think popular is the operative word. I mean, I mean, Darby is he's one of the most popular wrestlers.
100%. Dude, he had a line longer than me and Billy Gunn are the 6-time WWF tag champs and Hall of Famers. And he had a line longer than ours, that's for dang sure. And they were there to get Darby, and the kids are painted like him. And so, hey, nobody can doubt that he's really popular in wrestling right now. But I don't know. When you think about some of those dudes I mentioned that were over, he ain't there yet. You know what I mean?
Yep, agreed. And it makes the word over more respected if it's not oversaturated.
100%. It's just like if everybody comes in and tries to be a badass, then nobody's a badass. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
You gotta have a coat of many colors. Yep.
And you gotta work your way to that. If people are coming in over because they have a few good spots in a match and they're over, what am I? What's my height now? You know what I mean? What am I working for?
I also question Darby's longevity, taking some of those bumps that he takes, man. He's tougher than I am, that's for dang sure. But I just want him to be able to do it in 10 years still, So I cringe sometimes watching that.
He's a young cat too, man. I think he needs to be coached. He's got someone who's one of the greatest of my all-time favorite, Sting, in his corner, man. So hopefully he's sprinkling
Hopefully
a little bit in his ear.
Yeah,
Exactly. Rizu's asking, could you please sing a verse of "With My Baby Tonight"?
Oh, well, my baby's got me wrapped around a little finger, but she knows. I don't even know the words anymore. We were just doing on my podcast. I'll drop it in a week or so.
Nice.
We talked about the 95 run and the song and the Milli Vanilli and the whole deal. And it's really cool to look back on that. And, I get a lot of ribbon about the song, but I recorded a song that's played on you know what I mean? It was pretty cool, I thought.
25 years later.
Yeah, we're still talking about it. So I think it was pretty cool, to be quite honest with you. I love the song. We were going to write some more too had I not quit,
Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Man, there's a lot.
Anybody burying me?
No, man. A lot of people. Wow. Everybody on here.
I said something on TV or on TV. I said something today on Busted Open Radio about phony baloney wrestling, and I figure I'd get some kickback from that. But I just kind of wanted to kind of clear that up. Like, it's in comparison to, like, do I love wrestling? Of course I do. But in comparison to my children, my grandchildren, my wife, my brothers, you know what I mean? The important things in life. It's just phony baloney wrestling. And I had to tell myself that a lot so that I wouldn't get caught up in I got to get beat by so-and-so. Like, it's just wrestling, man. I'm trying to pay the bills and have fun while I do it. And so I didn't mean, like, to take the business down a notch. I just mean I have to take it down in my mind so that I don't prioritize things that don't need to be priorities.
Yes, indeed. Elvis is asking, if you would step back in the WWE ring for a singles match, who would you face? I can see you facing Seth or Happy Corbin.
Oh, I would love to work with Happy Corbin because he's a big old heel, you know what I mean, that you could bump for him. Seth, look, I think Seth Rollins is doing some of his greatest work right now. If I step back in the ring with a Seth Rollins right now, I would die of cardiac arrest. And if not, maybe he curb stomps me he gets charged with elderly abuse. But the truth be told, I think Seth, I think Becky, some of them are doing their best work right now, man. Their characters are just on another level, and it's feeling fresh and cool and hip. And I don't know, I'm digging what they're doing.
Nice. Michael's asking, were you concerned after you and Billy Gunn pushed Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie off the ramp while they were in the dumpster?
No, but we acted like it. You know what I remember about that the most is everybody coming out afterwards and kind of surrounding us and acting. And I'm talking about the talent and stuff, acting like we did something really bad. And it got to the point where like people started swinging on us, like over people's heads, and Bradshaw like reached over and knocked the crap out of me. And it got so chaotic that it was like a real event happened, and I felt like, holy crap, did we really do something wrong? But it was, look, people, they were safe. There were precautions taken. They were safe. So what I remember about that though was everybody coming out and how real it felt after that. And it got to be like, holy crap, let's get out of here. But that was a fun part of my career for sure.
Very nice. Reese's asking, why were there so many mass releases from WWE recently while you were there? Even top guys like Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, look, I think what they have done, and right, wrong, or indifferent, it's a business strategy, and it's his business. Is he has an age limit, and I'm not promoting elderly people. I'm promoting young, beautiful superstars. You know what I mean? And that's. I don't know if you can blame him for that. You can think whatever you want to, but none of us own $1 billion entertainment conglomerate and have to make those decisions. So it's not easy to walk a mile in his shoes. I can't even fathom those shoes. So while it's he's the boss. He makes the decisions. You do the best you can with the decisions that are made, and you move forward. I got hit in the head with a lot of chairs, and there's a lot of bong resin left in there, so I forgot totally what the question was. But, it was about cuts. Yeah, I just looked back down and saw it. It was about cuts. Look, a lot of people got cut. I think that was to trim some fat. I think it's we're not going to go with these, because Bray and Braun are probably both, 30 something? I don't know. But like if they're close to 35, that's probably he don't want a bunch of Randy Ortons. You know what I mean? I remember one time sitting in there at a meeting and we were talking about the New Age Outlaws, and Vince looked right at me and said, Brian, I'm not pushing the past. And I thought, ouch, that hurt my ego, my sensitive ego. But he's so right. Like you're not gonna push the, you may do a nostalgic kickback can of Coke, but you're not going to change it all, because you know what I mean? Like, so he knows what he's doing. People just don't like to think so.
So those wave of releases, is it a Vince thing from the top and a surprise some of you, as far as the committee in the back, or is it a Vince and Triple H thing? Does it ever surprise Triple H when those cuts are there? How does that usually work out?
Yeah, I don't know about the Triple H part. I don't know if he's privy to who and when, or if he's in on the decision making. But look, I was in on the decision making of members of the creative writing team, and hey, we're thinking about doing this. Should we keep this guy? Should we let him go? So I was in on the process when that happened. So it's definitely a process. But I feel like this time it was, hey, we want to cut our spending, and how do we do that? And anything extra. Look, NXT was stacked. We had a really great team of really great people. They cut 15 people in one day, and the next Tuesday the show went off without a spark, and they probably saved $2.5-3 million a year off of maybe more than that, off of the people they let go. So now I can give you my TV show that you pay me X amount of dollars for annually for my TV rights deal, and I can do it for you for $100,000 an episode. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, how do I say, from a business strategy standpoint, how do I make the most and spend the least? And firing me was a step in that direction. Look, I can't get angry. I can be bitter, but what good's that going to do me? I got 10 years of behind the scenes education and life experiences with Vince McMahon flying on his jet and getting to hang out in that inner circle. Like, man, that's the opportunity of a lifetime, especially in the wrestling industry. You could say what you want about Vince McMahon, but if you tell me you wouldn't get on that jet with him and fly to the next town and eat sushi at 35,000 feet, you're a damn liar. so I'll leave that right there for you.
Yes, amen to that. All right, a couple 2-minute lightning round. You ready to rock?
Here we go.
Right,
Let me TD Jakes wipe my sweat off real quick. Here we go.
Here we go. This person, Dehydratabai. Did you ever
Yeah.
write a rap for John Cena?
I did not write a rap for John Cena. I have sat in the writing room with him and come up with some promo stuff. But man, John can spit. John's good. I would never try to write anything for John. I would write something with him, but never write something for him because the dude can literally do it.
Nice. Weezu, any quick great Scott Hall memories?
Oh man, all of them, just all of them. Again, on my podcast, we just talked about this whole era where I cheated and Jeff won, beat Razor and for the Intercontinental title. Look, Razor was a friend of my brother Brad and Steve from Japan. When I got in WWE as the Roadie, I was automatically friends with him by proxy. Also Kevin Nash, also Shawn Michaels, also Jeff, and so I was kind of friends with those guys, and so it wasn't such a rubbing elbows and like, oh my God, it was like, these are my buddies and we're getting to play wrestling and it's awesome. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, every story of mine about Scott Hall was a great one. I learned so much from him about selling like a man and being patient and waiting for the people and just all kind of little unwritten rules that Scott knew, but from his experience in AWA in Japan. And, he brought all that stuff there. I was just getting to wrestle and in the ring with the likes of him, you know what I mean? So yeah. Scott Hall was a mentor to me. We had some bad times together and we had some really good times together, and I will remember those good times forever.
Love it. Mikey, what do you think is better, AEW or WWE, and what do you think of Ric Flair?
Ric Flair. So look, I think AEW and WWE are apples and oranges. So I think to put them in one, basket is doing a disservice to both of them. Actually, I think what you have with AEW is a wrestling show. And that's what a lot of the viewers right now, especially the hardcore viewers, love. And they love their simple storytelling. And they do tell good stories. It's not just simple. I don't mean it like that as in a negative way. But like their storytelling is simple and easy to follow. In WWE, sometimes they start a story. And if it doesn't catch on, they just switch and go a different direction and don't say anything to you. And as a viewer, I always felt that was a little bit disrespectful to me. Like, you're insulting my intelligence. I know you were doing this with such and such is doing something different. And so, like, it gets frustrating. But I think the television product of WWE is unmatched, and there's not even a challenge as far as television production goes. But look, the wrestling, it's a sports entertainment show. It's a variety show that has everything on it. The one guy that loves Bryan Danielson is not going to love, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. You know what I mean? So it's apples and oranges. Do I love both shows? Heck yeah, I do. I got friends that wrestle or work for both, and I love watching wrestling. But they're two different entities. Are they battling for? I don't know about domination, because it's a long hill to climb, uphill to catch Vince. Not that they're not doing it or attempting to. I just think it's two different entities. I don't like to judge them together because I think they're two different things.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. All right. For the sake of to respect your time, I think we're going to cut it off there.
Okay. All right.
Once again, yeah, there's a lot, but I'm respectful for people's time. So, once again, let them know about your podcast, my man.
Yeah, anywhere and everywhere you get your podcast. It's the You Didn't Know podcast. As you can see, I have a horrible time doing this. It's nice. On the Save with Conrad roster, I guess you could say. A lot of great podcasts, but mine's the newest, and I think I'm the tallest. I'm not sure, but you can, anywhere and on YouTube, you can go on there and please subscribe and hit the 5-star button. That'll help us out. But yeah, look, I'd love to have everybody go over and give it a listen. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. If you do, come back for more. But give it a chance. I think you'll like it. And Doc, I appreciate you having me on tonight. I would love to come back on another time and let's spend a little more time together.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Yeah, cool.
You say you're the tallest. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Oh, very nice.
How tall are you, Doc?
6'1".
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
My penis is tiny. Oh, good. You got a sound effect. Wah. I like to leave them riveted.
My man. Brian, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming through.
It was my pleasure. Hey, thanks a lot. Check it out. Oh, you didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know? Have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.